The question we should be asking is, do we care? What's up guys, MtgJedi here, another Raid Shadow Legends video, of course. Welcome on into the channel. If it's your first time here, just hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to be subscribed for all of the content, daily Raid Shadow Legends videos, and thank you to all of my subscribers who are here all the time. Appreciate you guys. Alright, so we're talking about Roxam today, and I'm not going to be singing any 80s songs. All I'm going to be talking about is this champion worth your time and investment to get as a free champion in the game? Basically, anytime you can get a legendary, you should, but this would take a lot of investment in order to get him from this path event. Now, his kit has a lot of words, but let me try to summarize that for you so that it's easy and makes sense, okay? Let's start with the A1. Now, on the A1, you're going to have a potential turn meter fill and a potential perfect veil. You're going to have 100% crit on him. He's an attack-based champion, and he is going to be a damage dealer, so you're going to build him with 100% crit rate. And so you're going to have a 60% chance of those two things, and he would pair well in a team with an ally attack champion or a counter attack champion. So keep that in mind when you're setting out to build your team. Alright, then the A2 is just a lot of words, okay? Again, he has a chance to fill his turn meter. Actually, let me take that back. He always fills his turn meter on the A2. And then he will either have a 100% chance of placing stun if he's veiled, or sleep if he's not veiled. And then if he's not veiled, he'll place a perfect veil on himself after the attack, which is just awkward, but still helpful. The issue I've always had with Roxam is that he only does the veil and perfect veil on himself, not on anyone else. I think he should be doing a team-wide veil or perfect veil, and then we could all start using him in Hydra for some different teams. I think this would have been the perfect opportunity for Plarium to change this A2 here, make this an AoE perfect veil with just, you could do AoE, turn meter fill, perfect veil, and get rid of all the sleep and stun nonsense. And that would change him into a very reasonable champion, but until then, he has this very controlling ability that's single target. And then on his A3, he does decrease defense and weaken while he's under perfect veil. And when he's not under perfect veil, he's going to place it on himself. It's just, his kit is kind of awkward, but he does work well in a team with Veil and Perfect Veil. So if you have like a Duchess or Rector Drath or somebody like that, you can be putting him in that team. Similar to Candrafon, he's going to be a good option for you if you have those champions. And if not, then I think that he can still be used, but he's just going to be a different style champion. Now, here's another interesting part about his kit, is that he places block debuffs and strengthen for 1 turn and continuous heal for 2 turns whenever he receives Veil and Perfect Veil. So we would have to do some really interesting things to get him to work in Hydra. I think we would have to build him with resistance, and I think he could be a very good resistance tank if we put 100% crit rate and a lot of resistance on him. That would be a really cool and interesting build. He also has crit rate in Doom Tower battles, so that's not going to be very optimal for using his aura. But I want to test him out today in a couple different situations, and let's think about, with this current situation of everybody can get him if they want to, should we do that, right? Now, I'm on the test server. Thank you to Polarium for leaving that open. And Lizardman happens to be open on the test server, so we're going to jump in and see him in action in Faction Wars, where he's not letting anyone else do the work. He's going to do the work. So in order to make that happen, we're going to run stage 20 here. I'm going to run Pythion in case he dies and we can revive. Mostly we'll probably be reviving the dead. Maybe we'll just take this out and run 3 champions. So that way Pythion will only revive Roxam. And I figured everybody can get Rosin, so why not put him in there? The Pythion could definitely be a Broadmaw. Obviously Pythion's better. And I think his cooldown on his revive is less. At least that was my thought process when I was picking the team. So let's jump in here and see what's going on with Roxam. I think that he can take care of level 20 basically on his own. And then he'll have a little bit of help with Rosin to control the turn meters is the main thing here. And you can see that Roxam doing very good damage here, okay? Doing very good damage. He is really handling the healing wave. I don't know what else you want to call it. But we also have masteries on the other 2 legendaries, and that's going to be very helpful in carrying us through this content. Now, as I said, you can use Broadmaw in here. Everybody has the ability to get Rosin, and I don't have ridiculous stats on the Roxam. I just have stats that I figured everyone could get, and I actually put him in lifesteal gear. One of the tricks for attack-based damage dealers in this game is going to be lifesteal gear, and I feel like that's something that's been underrated for a little while in the game, because we have all of these amazing gear sets. So let's go ahead and you see the AoE decreased defense and weaken there because he was on the Perfect Veil. So manualing things with him is actually going to be really good, okay? And then if we can figure out a team to go with him, I want to test him in Hydra also. I think he would be a great champion for maybe hard Hydra. Depending on your gear level and your champions, maybe he could even be used at higher levels if you can get like a crazy build on him with resistance and damage and speed and all the things. But he's going to be very stat intensive because he puts those extra buffs on himself. Okay. Now, I'm a little bit impressed here. We haven't had to revive him at all. So let me go ahead and fast forward to the end of this. It's clear we're going to take this by storm. The bolster set is doing really well on Pythion here, but let me just go ahead and fast forward to the next part. Okay, so there we had it. It was 2:31, which is a very respectable time for stage 20. Not even close to my best time, but perfectly fine, which means if your gear was not as good as mine on these champions, then you would still be able to clear this. Roxam doing more damage than Rosin, but Rosin doing a fair bit as well. Let's go just compare the damage on those 2 champions, since we all have the potential to get Rosin. This would be the one. He was even missing a weapon, as per usual for my Faction War teams. But 4,200 defense. Wait, Rosin is a defense-based champion. Okay, I was just double checking that I knew. 4,200 defense, very slow, not 100% crit rate, 225 crit damage, and not really enough accuracy because we're missing some stats from having that weapon there. And then Roxam, I have him in lifesteal, and then, oh, do I have a 5-piece lifesteal? It's fine. It was going to be a 4-piece lifesteal and then a broken set, but I guess I ended up putting these gloves on, which is also lifesteal. Stone Skin, one of the best 1-piece sets here. We're getting that 8% HP. Highly recommend doing that for your offsets. And then Roxam's stats, similar to Rosin's, right? We had 4,700 attack instead of 4,200. We had around the same crit damage and just a little bit more speed. really not enough accuracy, if I'm being honest. I probably should switch to an accuracy banner there, but that is a very similar build to Roxanne, and we know Roxanne has pretty decent multipliers. So Roxam, pretty good in just like a mid-game build here, and I think that that's reasonable. Like, honestly, better than I was expecting. So let me go change his build, and then we'll hop over to Hydra. Alright, so I think I came up with a pretty cool team around Roxam here. You might not have all of these champions, but that's okay. Just follow the basic ideas and fit in your champions. We have Archbishop Pinthroy for some shields and the block buffs. We have Roxam, which is going to be our mischief tank. He is going to be a little bit of damage. He's going to be decreased defense and weaken. He's going to veil himself for the fear head. We have Ragash to help out keeping decreased defense up. He also is going to do increased speed. And in addition to that, he is going to put some veils on people. Tumija is in there because she's pretty great with some of her kit targeting the fear head. Like on here, whenever an enemy's under HP burn, she's immune to the fear. So if we were able to put another HP burn in the team, I think that she would just never take the fear. But Razzlevarg here, I don't think he is necessary because we're kind of getting his abilities everywhere else. But I do have his attack the highest in the team so that our Ragash will veil him. And this could be basically anybody. And then we have Python in there to cleanse and revive and help with some stabilization of the team so that we don't die. Now, manual the first turn in here so that we get everybody to do what we want them to do. I would say go ahead and do the increased speed first. Single target over here on Roxam so that he veils himself. Now our Razzlevarg is already ready to go with that veil. We can go ahead and put some HP burns up here and the block buffs. You want to make sure you hit the block buffs on the Head of Wrath. That's the most important. And then you can go ahead and cleanse with our Python. You can see there that our Roxam is going to be targeted. And now we should be able to hit auto and let it run through. This is a different rotation of the Hydra on the test server. This is hard Hydra. And I kept the speeds all in the 220s or lower. I really slowed my champions down whenever possible so that they weren't at crazy speeds. I didn't want this to be like, well, Jedi, they're all a million speed, you know? So this is basically I don't know, maybe it's hardcore because there's no epics, it's all legendaries, but I wanted to put together a team that made sense at least for these champions, okay? And you can see we're not doing a crazy amount of damage per turn, but even if you don't have Tumija, maybe you could do Artak in there. If you don't have Razzlevarg, I think he can be basically anyone. Like somebody with decreased attack would be good. I was going to say Stag Knight, but we really don't need the rest of Stag Knight's kit. Somebody for decreased speed maybe would be great in this team, although we do get a little bit of decreased speed already. I think this is just a really interesting team, and Roxam is doing a great job with making them target him with the stun. Making him target him with mischief, excuse me. And so we're doing good damage here. And that's my alarm to wrap it up. So what I'm going to do is I am going to let this play through. We'll see how much damage we can get. I'm going to basically let it run on auto, and then I'm going to target some heads here, okay? You can see Tumija there. She did not get feared because there's already some HP burns up. Once we have our buffs going, we're going to be pretty survivable. And most of these people are not in crazy gear, and hopefully I'll remember to show that here at the end of the video, but if I forget, just ask me in the comments below. I don't want this video to take a million years. I want you to be able to make your decision on whether you want to go for Roxam. And honestly, I'm very pleased with how this is turning out. Better than anticipated. I thought I was going to have to force this a little bit more. But if you're definitely looking to improve your Hydra teams, it's possible that he is one of the things that you're looking for. But remember, he is kind of a tough build, okay? He needs resistance, he needs accuracy, he needs at least 100% crit rate, so any kind of crit damage would be great. And then we'll just come in here and target the heads so that we can, you know, do some damage. This is going to be a really solid run, I think. So what I might have to do is go get ready for work and then come back and see the damage screen and wrap up the video. So let's put on a work polo or something, and then I'll be back. I have a couple minutes that I can monitor it so that it, you know, goes well at the beginning of the fight, and making sure that you're clicking the heads is really going to help you in terms of freeing your champions, getting the most damage on the stubs, all of those things. But this is a pretty cool team, I think. Let me know what you think. What do you think about this team? I tried to make it make sense, but also not be ridiculous at the same time. And then you have a couple champions who can easily be replaced with Tumija and Razelvarg. But Tumija pairs really well in this team because most of these people do well whenever there is the fear head out there. And you can see it's not 100%. I have like over 400 resistance though, so it's a pretty low percent chance that you're going to get buff stolen. But even if you get buff stolen, you will have block buffs up in this team with Pinthroy, okay? And so that's pretty cool as well. I think the new login champion, our Monkey King, is another champion who could fit really well in this team. I don't know when my video is going to post, so I don't want to talk about his kit yet because we're still under embargo for that. But you will see it from all the content creators today. He looks amazing, and I'm really excited to share that with you. If this video comes out before theirs, then just look for it on YouTube in a little bit. You know, I'm sure that information will be released soon, but I don't want to put it in this video and to break that embargo. All right, so I let you see all of the one key here. This is going to hit the 20 million very easily. And there we go. We did not get the decrease attack under block buffs. And so we had some people die. That's why I love the revivers in the team. That way our reviver can just bring him back. And we can run an attack-based damage dealer here. We also got the, you know, this buff snuck in under our block buffs, which is unfortunate. But really good damage here. Really good damage here. I'm very interested to see who's the most damage in the team. My guess is going to be Tumija. But we'll see. And I'll just go ahead and fast forward to the end of the run for you. And then we'll wrap up the video. One last thing about this team, a great replacement for someone in this team, as Roxam dies again, would be Mithrala or a Hex champion. Getting a Hex set or a Hex champion in this team would add a lot more damage, and then it would let you target the Head of Mischief whenever he consumes somebody, whenever he swallows somebody, however you want to say it. Okay, and we're back. All right, so hiding behind me is Archbishop Pinthroy, who survived longer than Roxam, hence the more damage there. But as you can see, the majority of the damage here is not coming from Roxam, and that's okay. Roxam's purpose in the team is more of decreased defense and weaken. If we were to take Ragash out, we could take Tumija out, we could put Inquisitor Shamail in, but the whole point of using Roxam was so that not only could we get decreased defense and weaken in the team, But also, then we wouldn't have to use somebody like Inquisitor Shamail. We would have another option of somebody for those veils so we can get around the Fearhead, okay? Razelvarg did a hefty 10 million damage there, which is really, really nice as well. And he's bringing the cruelty for us as well. Let's take a look at the builds real quick. I want to think about this team a little bit more because I think we could even optimize it into a legitimate team. Let me know if you want to see that on the channel here. And we are going to have to sort manually. Okay, cool. Anyway, here's the first two. You know, as I said, none of them are going to be super fast. If you need more time, just pause the video. Roxam, I got a healthy amount of resistance and at least 100% crit rate while having some speed. Like I said, not a great build here. So maybe we could just focus more on survivability and not worry about anything else. You know, we could not worry about him for damage at all. All right, so here is the Razelvarg, who is, I think, still in Provoke, and he's got some pretty decent stats here, so I don't know if you'd be able to replicate that build or not, especially in Provoke, but I just tried to make a quick build, like I wasn't trying to make it, you know, too crazy. It just happened to turn out that way. And then we have Archbishop Pinthroy in Relentless, which I feel like this is a reasonable build for you to replicate on your account. High HP, speed, and accuracy. Speed for hard. Okay, obviously this build's not going to work for Brutal or Nightmare or anything like that. We already did Pythion. Let's do Ragash is just in random gear, guys. Ragash in just random gear. A little bit of crit stats, a little bit of accuracy and resistance. Definitely some speed and a healthy amount of defense. And then, who else am I missing? And then Tunisia, I tried to slow way down also. And then she just ended up with attack percentage boots. Not 100% crit rate, but definitely a damage dealer. You know what I mean? So let me know if you want to see this type of team. Maybe with even more relatable champions, to see if we can make Roxam really work in Hydra. I might work on that for tomorrow, so let me know what you think about that. And based on this information, do you think he's worth going for in all of these path event? Okay, is he worth the effort? I'm going to leave that up to you guys to let me know. I'm not going to tell you my opinion on that because I want to hear from you guys. That's more important to me. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you guys tonight on stream over on Twitch.